Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm going to be doing something a little bit different this week. Over the past couple months, I've been doing my week in review and talking about all the TV shows that I've been watching, and starting to realize sometimes it's not enough to talk about a particular episode unless I'm really digging down into them and giving away stuff. So I'm going to be shifting gears now, and each week I'm going to be talking about the shows, like a season that I actually finish of a show. So coming up soon, there's going to be some reviews coming for The Outsider and Avenue 5 and a lot of those other shows that I've been watching each week. But so for this week, and the new title of this video series is called On the Tube, because people still watch TVs with tubes in them, which they don't. But anyway, I'm here to talk about this week's show that I actually got to binge the whole thing, which was Locke Key. And it took me about a week before I actually started watching this after it came out. I know there's a lot of buzz around this show on Netflix. A lot of fans of the graphic novel were excited that they were making a show out of this. I didn't know anything about the graphic novel, just that people liked it, which is why people were getting excited about this show, and it seemed like it was getting some middle-of-the-road kind of reviews. And after watching the first season, I could definitely understand why. I felt like my overall feeling about this first season of the show was I cared much more about the intrigue that the plot portrayed. All the twists and turns, what was going on, where this was going to go, and less about the emotional connection that I had with these characters. So, I didn't feel as connected to them, despite there's some heavy stuff that happens to this family this show centralizes on. But I felt like I was more attached to finding out what was happening because there was enough twists and turns and weird occurrences throughout the plot of this first season of the show, and from the concept of the show with all these crazy keys and all the different kinds of things that they do and the creepy scares and thrills that they might produce, which I also didn't expect this show to have such an odd tone about it, because it's obvious once it gets going that there's supposed to be some bits of horror elements and thriller elements to this, which there were some moments that do really hit that, but I don't feel like the show built up enough tension to really capitalize on those moments, and it felt a little off in terms of how it was bouncing around between tones of these weird, creepy, supernatural kind of thrills and this serious drama going on with this family dealing with that their father was murdered. And how it all connects back together, it feels like a puzzle box, honestly, feeling straight up out of a J.J. Abrams movie or a Christopher Nolan movie, and not really feeling like I cared so much about the characters in it. And some of the performances didn't work so well for me, especially for, say, the young son played Jackson Robert Scott, who actually played Georgie from the It movies. Some of his line deliveries felt so unnatural and he was just reading a line that I'm I don't care about what you just said, nor do I feel threatened by what you were trying to say or feel emotionally attached to it. And also the mother, in some of the scenes that she's in, some of them, it does really work and you feel the emotions, but some of the scenes just feel flat. So, some of the acting didn't really work for me in this show, and that took away, I guess, from some of those moments of trying to connect with these characters. But overall, the show is a fun and interesting time. It's 10 episodes, it has that Netflix feel of there's 10 episodes, there's 13 episodes. Luckily, they're not all 57, 58 minutes. Some of them know it's well, this story for this episode doesn't need to be stretched out that far, so it knows when to cut back. But it has some interesting thrills to it. It's an intriguing premise, and for the most part, plot, it does kind of spell things out for you, especially when you get to the season finale of this, and it's just oh, here's the rug, and you pull it out from under you, and then it over-explains everything. At least it did it visually. It didn't have a character well, this is what I did when you were doing this thing, and it's that would have made it worse. But in general, it's an interesting enough show to get some enjoyment out of it. I enjoyed it, and I'm interested to see what they do with the second season, because, this will probably get 2 more seasons and then get canceled by Netflix like every other show. But those are my thoughts on Lock and Key, and that's the main show for On the Tube this week. If you let me know what you think about this show, comment below, and let's talk some TV. And thank you as always for supporting your Wasteland reviewer.